Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
This episode is brought to you by United Airlines. When you want to make the most of your vacation, book with United. They're an airline that cares about your travels as much as you do. United is transforming the flying experience with Bluetooth connectivity, screens, power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to help fit everyone's bag. And with their app, you can skip the bag check line, get live updates, and more. Change the way you fly. Book your next trip today at united.com.
Hello, everyone. It's time for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 372, season 15. Today's date is October 13th, 2024, and welcome to the show. On today's program, I'm going to talk about a local TV talk show that aired in Chicago in the early 1970s. It was called Kennedy and Company. It was hosted by Bob Kennedy and Jenny Krim. I'll talk about those two individuals. Also, I'll talk about the Howard Johnson Hotel and Restaurant that were in the Chicagoland area, but they were also located elsewhere in the United States. I'll talk about my memories of that. But first, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Woolite Detergent. That product was everywhere. It's still around, but it was advertised heavily when I used to watch it on TV as a kid. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show, folks. Thank you.
You'll look better in the clothes you trust to Woolite. Woolite washing keeps the look and feel you love.
No wonder manufacturers of over 200 million fine garments, from swimwear to lingerie to dresses, recommend Woolite. Woolite in cold water safely cleans fine washables without shrinking, stretching, fading. Everything soft, fresh.
You'll look better in the clothes you trust to Woolite.
Trust Woolite.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Woolite detergent. This commercial is from 1979. That product's been around for a long time. It was introduced in 1951. Its purpose for this detergent is for washing delicates, delicate clothes, like pantyhose and frilly stuff and dresses and all that. And you put them in a bathroom sink and you dunk them in, and then you hang them on your shower rod in your bathroom. And your pantyhose and all that. And it sort of saves money on dry cleaning, according to some sources, that is. And it's owned by the British multinational company Reckitt. And it was bought from the American Home Products / Wyeth in 1990. And it's still around. So they only had like one kind, but the products they had is now Woolite Everyday, Woolite Gentle Cycle, Woolite Darks, Woolite Delicates, Woolite Baby, and Woolite with Evercare. Okay. That's great, like that. And so it's like that. So I remember watching the commercials on TV, mostly like daytime TV. I used to watch game shows and all that, also at night. So, I think my mother bought it once in a while. She doesn't use it anymore, but I think, according to her, it's great. It's wonderful. So that's good to know. And, laundry's a big task all the time, like that. Okay. And let's see what else. So that's about it for Woolite. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about the TV talk show that aired on WLS-TV in Chicago in the early 1970s. I think I failed to mention that on the station. What station? And it was called Kennedy and Company. That was hosted by Bob Kennedy and Jenny Krim. And also I'll talk about the Howard Johnson Hotel and Restaurant. Before I get started, I want to mention one thing. Yesterday's podcast, it was a very enjoyable one. I get a lot of feedback from the Whaler sandwich. They miss that sandwich. There was something unique about that. But, there are fish sandwiches at Burger King. It's not the same. It's not called Whaler anymore. So I described that. But believe it or not, filet of fish is still out there at McDonald's. It hasn't changed and all that. I mentioned I was going to try what's that called? The chicken Big Mac. I haven't got a chance to go. Sometime this week I will. But I was going to go today, but I'm having a big dinner tonight, so I'm not going to have it. Got to watch it. All right. Right now I'm going to talk about Kennedy and Company. Let me give you a history of that show and a little biography of both hosts. Like that, so I'm going to do all at once. There maybe on later episodes I will talk about maybe Bob Kennedy or Jenny Krim. Well, she's still alive, but Bob Kennedy died years ago, and maybe about him in a later episode. Focus on that. Okay, so the program premiered on March 30th, 1970 at 7 a.m. I think it was maybe one of the earliest talk shows at the time. And I don't know what was it before. Maybe, I think it was a movie. That was hosted by a lady. I can't think of her on the top of my head, but I know who it is. I think her name was Ione or something. I will talk about her in a later podcast episode soon. So, according to the Chicago Tribune, the TV listing, that ran for 90 minutes. And the guest list consists of Irv Kupcinet, who was a columnist on the Chicago Sun-Times, Bird Tillstrom. They brought Kukla and Ollie. No Fran. No. Don McNeil. He was famous with the Breakfast Club. That was on the radio. Sig Sakowitz. Fahey Flynn, Ernie Banks, and by telephone, Edgar Bergen and Danny Thomas. What a lineup. Wow. That's cool, like that. And it was like a mixture of, it was a talk show. They did interviews. I don't know if they did demonstrations, maybe cooking or other entertainment. No idea. I never seen the show. When it aired, I was not watching that show. I was watching on WGN Channel 9. I was watching Ray Rayner, like most kids, before I went to school, or Garfield Goose. Mostly it was Ray Rayner, to see how the weather was, if he did the school closings, or he would present a cartoon. That sort of thing. Anyway, so the show lasted about only a few years. And so I'm going to talk about Bob Kennedy right now. Let me pull him up. Okay. So, let's see. He was from Jersey City, New Jersey. This is according to the Tribune. There's an article. And he graduated from Fordham University with a degree in radio and television, and he served at the Air Force. And then his first, I think it's TV station or radio, it's WKNY in Kingston, New York in 1958. That's probably up in upstate New York. Later, he moved to Syracuse, New York, and he became a newsman. So he got his... his background and his experience. Then he married the executive producer. Her name was Beverly Bianco in 1960. And then he moved to Boston at WBZ, and he had a radio and TV talk show at the time. Then he went to Los Angeles, and then in 1968, and then he came to Chicago, which is interesting. Like that. So he started to host. And then he had another show at night, I believe, and he interviewed some people. I forgot the name of it. So you if you want to find out, it's on YouTube. There's a clip that he interviews some of the disc jockeys from WLS Radio, and there's a clip of that, and he's interviewing them. It could be from the morning show, but I think it's from the late night show. Anyway, so unfortunately, yes, here it is. The show was called Kennedy at Night. I don't know what time it aired. I'm not sure what time what year it started. Probably a little later, and it's probably after the news, like that. So it was probably very late. Then he was very sick, and he was going to co-host a show called AM America, which I think it's Good Morning America. It could be that. That started. That was with David Hartman. So, according to most people, he would get up in the morning at 4:30 a.m. and then prepare his telecast. I think he did the news. I don't know if he did the news, probably not. And then he would work every day. And then Kennedy. So Kennedy and Night was at midnight, and that was taped. It wasn't live, so that was taped around 12 o'clock, around noon. So. Unfortunately, he did get sick, and he had cancer, and he had lymph cancer, and he died on Wednesday, November 6, 1974, and he was 41 years old. Oh, that's so sad. And so young. Oh, that is awful. And he had two daughters, and he lived in Highland Park, Illinois, and his mother was still alive at the time, and he had a brother, and so that's a shame. But, a lot of people have forgotten about him, how talented he was, and, he paved the way like that. This show, Kennedy and Company, later on became AM Chicago. The only host I can remember was Steve Edwards. I forgot what the woman's, the co-host. I forgot her name was. And then that ran for a long time. And then Oprah came and took over in the 80s. And Steve Edwards went to LA. I think he's still there. I don't know what he's doing now, because he hosted a talk show, a morning talk show, I think, one in Los Angeles. Anyway, as for Jenny Krim, I'll give you a little history about her. Let me go find her. And I'll be right back. Here it is. So Jenny Krim, I believe her real name is Rebecca, and she changed it. And she was born in Sydney, Ohio, just a little 40 miles north of Dayton, Ohio. And she graduated from Michigan State University, and she wanted to be a surgeon just like her father. But she did not do that. So she decided to go into broadcasting. And then her first job right after college was in Cincinnati on Channel 8. And then from Channel 8, she went to Chicago and hosted a show with Bob Kennedy. And then she left, and then she went to San Francisco, and then she was offered a job with ABC, to do that show. But no, she didn't do that. Then she went back to Cleveland. She went back to Ohio, and she stayed there for many years, like over 20 years and like that. And she did a lot of interviews and all that. She was very popular with the audience. And I didn't really remember her at all like that. So, and then, so she was very talented, very, very nice like that. She hosted a show called The Morning Exchange, and then she was involved with charities and all that. And then she's still alive, as far as I know. So that's great. I hope she's doing well. I hope so. I hope she's listening to this podcast. I doubt it. I don't think so. No. So that was I used to hear this show a lot, Kennedy and Company all the time, but it's been mentioned by people on Facebook now and then, because they do remember it. People who were older than me used to watch it in the morning, instead of the Today Show or, on Channel 2. Well, Channel 2, they had Captain Kangaroo, so that didn't matter. So I think it was rivaling the Today Show. That's what it was. Now today, we got the news all over. Okay. All right. Right now, I'm going to talk about Howard Johnson. So, you ask why I'm going to talk about this? Why not? Howard Johnson, a lot of people still remember this wonderful company to this day. And I'll give you a history of that. So, it's called now the Howard Johnson by Wyndham. And it's still around. Not in Chicago, mostly in the South, like that. And so they had the hotels and the restaurants. They had that. And the restaurants originally opened one location, and it was opened by a man named Howard Deering Johnson. So that's where they got the name of the place. And he was a businessman, very successful. He had a great idea. And that opened in 1925. I don't know where it first opened. And then by the 1950s, it expanded by opening hotels, and it was known as Howard Johnson's Motor Lodges, where, if you're on the road and you're hungry and you want to crash, go to sleep and all that, you would, and just relax. And then you can go to the restaurants, have a bite to eat, have a nice meal. According to most people, it was delicious, and it became one of the largest restaurant chains in the United States at the time, with with the franchises combined together. And then later on, the restaurants were franchised separately from the hotel in 1986. They just split. And the last restaurant that closed was in Lake George, New York, about 2 years ago. Yeah. And they also made frozen foods in the supermarkets, like Swanson, like that. And it was famous for their ice cream. I wish I had some of their ice cream. Oh, I love ice cream, but it's no longer made anymore. No. So here's some more information. So Howard Deering Johnson was from Quincy, Massachusetts, and he opened a soda fountain, like that, and they had ice cream and all that, and then you understand everything grew and grew like that. And one of the famous items was like it featured fried clams, baked beans, chicken pot pies, frankfurters, ice creams, and soft drinks like that. Okay. And then, so the one, a lot of people remember which Howard Johnson that was located in Chicago. I think there was one on the Tri-State, with the Oasis. It could be that. I could be wrong. It could be the one on I-90, or I'm not sure. I don't remember. But there was one in Skokie, and the address was 9333 Skokie Boulevard, and it was a Howard Johnson's Motor Lodge restaurant. And a lot of people who lived in the North Shore area do remember this place for its unique architecture of the hotel, the motel, that is. I guess it was a motel. And the restaurant was there. And then it changed, then it closed, and then it turned into something else. And then the last I heard, they tore down the motel, and something else was built there now, like that. Okay. Right now, I'm going to play a commercial for Howard Johnson Restaurant. And then when I come back, I'll have a menu, and I'll talk about some of the items that were featured in, and then I'll wrap up the show. Okay? So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back, folks. Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Ah yes, the magnificent Trolley Sour Bright Crawler, also known as Trollicus brightolus. The worm's captivating neon colour makes it an easy gummy prey.
Trolley!
It's a surprisingly sour, invitingly chewy, staggeringly snackable species unlike anything else found on this planet.
Eat me!
Delicious. Visit Trolley.com to shop now.
Trolley, eat me!
On the road around the corner, here's the place to go. The orange roof of Howard Johnson's. Join the folks who know. Good food, good fun, kids count too. 28 flavors just for you at Howard Johnson's. Next up,
it's Howard Johnson's for a famous grilled and butter Frankfurt in a toasted roll, or a choice steak, charcoal broiled the way you like it, sizzling on the outside, tender and juicy on the inside. Howard Johnson's is famous for fried clams, tender, sweet, deeply crusted and golden brown, crispy, crunchy, sweet as a nut, and ice cream from the wonderful world of 28 flavors, made with fresh cream, fine ingredients, and ice cream soda, cool, luscious, at the landmark for hungry Americans.
Howard Johnson's. Next up.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Howard Johnson. This is from the 1950s. Oh, boy. What a uplifting commercial. That's how it was back then. Everything sounded so good. Oh, the ice cream. The Frankfurters. Anyway, I found a menu online. It's from the 1950s. I won't, like I always say, I won't read every menu. I probably will, but I'll give you a broad idea of what they had like that. It's hard to find a later one, because so this is the best I could do. All right, let's get started. Okay, here we go. Now, let's see what they had. They had breakfast, like, for example, eggs, with bacon, sausage, ham, etc. Their specialty was grilled ham steak, and they had a little slice of pineapple on it with French fries and fresh garden peas, if you like peas. They had waffles, griddle cakes, which is pancakes, of course. You could have any side, just like when you go, to any restaurant today, like that. Waffles they had served with ice cream or strawberries. Yeah, Hawaiian waffles with pineapple, stuff like that. Okay, I'll get to the desserts in a minute. They had appetizers like fresh fruit cup with sherbet, shrimp cocktail, chilled. Juices, orange, grapefruit, tomato, like that, any size. They had New England clam chowder. Also, they have soup du jour, which is soup of the day. And, and a fruit juice sherbet float. That sounds good. Their specialties was charcoal broiled steak, grilled ham steak, southern fried chicken. The side orders were usually French fries, fresh garden vegetables, half a pound. Also, half-pound broiled chopped beef steak, open steak sandwich. Oh, that sounds good. Also, a pot of Howard Johnson oven-baked beans. And they had Welsh rarebit, if you like that. It's a casserole, like that. They had breaded veal cutlets, that. Salads, they had tuna fish salad in a bowl, shrimp salad, fruit salad, grilled frankfurts. I think it's misspelled wrong. I don't know. Individual salads and with their own French dressing. How do you like that? They only have one dressing. Okay, let's see what else they got. Sandwiches, they had grilled frankfurters, hot dogs, barbecue sliced beef, if you want American cheese on it. I don't like cheese on hot dogs. Tuna fish, egg salad, baked ham salad, sliced turkey, shrimp salad, cold roast beef. Some people like it cold. And let's see, hamburgers, any way you like it, served with French fries and coleslaw. Could be king size or a quarter pound. Okay. And also, there was called Hojo's. That's another name for our Howard Johnson's. Their specialty was 3 giant decks of the cheeseburger, like 3 patties. And you had like that. And it would cost 75 cents at the time. Also, other sandwiches they had is hot turkey, served with giblet gravy or giblet. I think it's giblet. Hot prime roast beef, with gravy, of course. Barbecue sliced beef, The triple decker sandwiches, as I mentioned before, sliced turkey, baked ham, tuna fish, roast beef, and cheese. Served with coleslaw and potato salad. All right, now let's get to the desserts. Of course, they had the ice cream, which, according to most people and sources, they had 28 flavors. I think Baskin-Robbins beat them by 31 or 33. No, Brussels was 33. Baskin-Robbins was 31. So I think it was on the first ice cream that sort of had more flavors at the time. So they had a hot fudge or butterscotch shortcake, coconut layer cake, apple pie with ice cream, a la mode, ice cream cake roll with chocolate sauce. Oh, that sounds good. And ice cream puff with hot fudge or butter sauce. I don't know what that is, but that sounds delicious. And baked Indian pudding with ice cream. I don't know what that is. What's baked Indian pudding? I gotta look that up. It's interesting. Very interesting indeed. More desserts they had. They had sundaes. Your choice of ice cream or sherbet. And they had, like for toppings, whipped cream, hot fudge, coffee fudge, maple fudge, butterscotch, vanilla, slices of fruit like strawberry, maraschino cherries. They also had strawberry shortcake, super duper, that's roasted banana royal. So that's like on a banana with a scoop of vanilla ice cream served with crushed pineapple a scoop of strawberry ice cream, and served with strawberry fruit whipped cream. It's like a banana split in a way, maybe. Also, the Howard Johnson special was raspberry sherbet with macaroon ice cream covered with whipped cream, topped with maraschino cherry and chopped walnuts. They had ice cream sodas. I'm not going to mention the flavors, because I already did. They had it and also with fruit flavors, with ice cream. They had milkshakes, of course, floats, malted milk. You like that? For beverages, they had coffee, milk, tea, or you want a pot of tea, orange juice, and also Coke, hot chocolate with whipped cream. Whew, that's it. That's a lot. Everything sounded so good. Yeah, like I said before, the restaurants are closed now, so there are a few scattered in the south. I don't know, because when you're on the road and then you would say, let's go to Hojo or Howard Johnson's, most people say Hojo. They know what you were talking about. You're going to the restaurant or you're staying at the lodge, just to stay overnight or just relax, because being on the road is exhausting, especially at people my age. You don't like to travel much. You just want to sleep, which sounds very depressing. It certainly does. Okay. Whew, what a list. Okay, so that's it for this program. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about the TV talk show that aired in the early 1970s. It was called Kennedy and Company. That was hosted by Bob Kennedy and Jenny Krim. They aired on WLS-TV and Channel 7 in Chicago. Also, I'll talk about Howard Johnson's motel and restaurant that were in the Chicagoland area and elsewhere. Of course. This podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are found, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Breaker, Overcast. If you have those apps on your phone or your tablet or any device, just tap on those. And if you see the following button, click on it and you will get the latest episode. You'll receive a notification and you can listen to the previous episodes as you wish. There's also an app called Good Pods. You can listen to that. There's others, I think I'm on iHeartRadio. Probably. I guess I am. Also be published on my blog, VanishChicagoland.blog. You can click on the link and it'll take you right there to listen. I think it'll take you to the Spotify website and you can listen there. Also it'll be on my YouTube channel again and again and again. People ask me, where's your podcast? Where's your podcast? You can find it on YouTube. Do a search, type in Vanish Chicagoland Stories or, the podcast or my name, Pete Casans. Click on subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. You can listen to the latest episode. You will receive a notification on your app or anywhere on your computer. And you can listen to previous episodes if you wish. You have time. Please do. Also be sure on my social media accounts, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. You can copy the link and it'll take you right there to listen. Okay. So, this is Pete Casans, your host for Vanish Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's chilly today on a Sunday. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. According to my brothers, the football game's on now. They're playing in London. It's kind of early. Well, it's a time difference. Hope you enjoy that. And I will probably do another podcast episode on Tuesday. We'll see about that. Okay. So here's bye-bye for me. And here's a little traveling music from Ray Rayner saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.